All right, so Kennedy Walker was arrested sometime between Monday and Wednesday. He was in court yesterday and was recording, and the toddler of a judge refuses him his First Amendment right in a public proceeding to record. So that's the judge's first crime, among many, many crimes that he committed during this so-called proceeding. So we're gonna watch, and we'll see just how bad this is.
I think I saw you in the jail yesterday. They fucked my ass up in there. That freezing cold shit and everything. They did a number on me, for sure. Sorry, what was that? This right here is a 6-page criminal complaint, federal, concerning, first I'm doing a citizen's arrest, and then I'm going to arrest people on all of those. Extortion, deprivation of rights under color of law, conspiracy against rights, treason, domestic terrorism, and conspiracy.
Okay, so Kennedy is talking about the charges just against the cops, and I would assume against the judge, whoever the hell that was, that signed the warrant with no evidence whatsoever. Hey, what's up, Jeff Hates Pigs? Good to see you back, brother. So he's talking about the charges that he's bringing against the cops and the judge that signed this ludicrous warrant that had no complainant statement, no complainant damages, and no evidence. He just based it on the words of these ass-hurt cops who Kennedy confronted last year. What's up? What's the matter, you baby? What's up?
Attempt murder. Yeah, you got to do something about it, otherwise. All right, cool. Thank you. Don't end up in jail.
All right, so anyway, Kennedy, I talked to him earlier, and he said he was pretty jacked up because what they do is, hey, Mikey B, what's up, baby? What they do, if you've never been to jail, you probably don't know this, but what they do is they turn the temperature down so that you're borderline hypothermic the whole time that you're in there. They refuse to give you a blanket. There's nothing but concrete in the holding cells most of the time. Every time I was ever in jail, I just stayed vertical and didn't lean up against the walls because I knew what was going to happen, man. You start getting borderline hypothermic and then you pass out, and pretty soon you're in heaven playing a harp, or you're in hell bowling with the demons and drinking beer. I don't know what to tell you about how that ends up, but yeah, it didn't do him any favors being cold like that. But you know, Kennedy, man, he is a fucking battle axe lit on fire, and he doesn't stop. So let's go ahead and we'll go on with this.
Is this thing plugged in? Oh, it's not. See that plug? So I'm fair. I mean, I'm okay to go through it because it's not going to buzz me. And these signs are something else, aren't they? I filmed in this courtroom.
Yeah, those are all the same signs from the last time when he was having the confrontation with the two sheriff's deputies that wouldn't let him come in with his camera at first. But he did walk right in, and then he came right back out. If you guys have seen that, it is completely fucking savage, man. He dresses those pigs right up. Like, you know, all he had to do was shove apples in their mouths and run them on a spit and put them over the fire. They were done. They looked like deer in the headlights, man, when he went on into court with his camera. I mean, he was there to prove a point, and he proved his point. He didn't stay in very long, yeah, but, you know, he proved his point, and the pigs did nothing. They did nothing because they know they can't. Anyway, there's the link. If any of you guys want to hop in, feel free, because Kennedy is Yeah, they died inside that day. That's absolutely right. They did die inside. You could see it on their stupid little moron faces that they did die inside. And see, the thing that kills me is those are young guys. They can go learn a trade and be useful in our society instead of being the enemy of the American people. But it's an easy job for retards to do, and that's what they are, man. They're all retarded somehow. Anyway, if anybody wants to jump in, go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and go on with this. But all these notices on the door here about what you can and cannot do in the courtroom, and of course, all of it is unconstitutional. And what it is a net for these socialist criminals to catch anybody who might come in there and expose their crimes and their treason, which is what all of us should be doing when we go to court. We should all have cameras, and we should all insist that we use them inside. If I ever have to go to court again, I'm gonna take a hidden camera. I don't give a fuck what the repercussions will be if they find it or whatever, because they make them the size of an O printed on a piece of paper. So yeah. All right, let's go.
Before. And they tried to stop me, but I threatened them with citizen's arrest. This sign over here says persons and parcels entering courtroom are subject to search. That's not true. It's a Fourth Amendment violation. No search or seizure without a warrant signed by a judge based on an injured complainant's sworn statement of damages, which just...
Yeah, I want to address what Jeff Hates Pigs says right here. He's absolutely right. Except we're not the perceived masters. We are the actual masters, and they are the actual servants. To them, Kennedy did an end run, basically. So, they got out of the way because he took charge, and he walked in that courtroom, and they were so shocked that he dared to do it, and they were so uncertain of themselves, and maybe they learned something that day, and they didn't want to get in any trouble. Yeah, right. No matter what a man in a robe says, the man in a robe is also a public servant. He's not the servant of the state. He's the servant of the people.
Cannot occur for this. And then this one over there is saying pursuant to UTCR.
Yeah, like what the hell is UTCR? That sounds like some kind of a code, and it's unconstitutional. So whatever it means, it doesn't matter because it's null and void because it's unconstitutional. If it's a public proceeding, everyone who goes in that courtroom has a right to be press, okay, and a right to make their own record, So yeah, well, it doesn't matter what UTC is. All of those, I'm assuming that all of those. I wish he would have, taken pictures of them up closer so we could see them. What bullshit they are. Those are rules, opinions, decisions, and statute or whatever. But because they're unconstitutional, they're null and void. So it doesn't matter where they come from. They're illegal. They're treason. And the people that try to foist that crap on us as being some kind of a law are guilty of treason.
3.180 and SLR 3.181, and I don't know what either of those are. They're not ORS, Oregon Revised Statute. They are some sort of court rule or something, which is not a law and doesn't apply to me. Just narrating for my video.
What videos do you make?
What's that?
What videos do you make? Just like exposing corruption?
Yeah, citizen's arrest.
Oh yeah.
Kennedy gets a chance to evangelize a little bit here today too, which is good. Charlie Harrington, I want to thank you for sharing my video, bro. I got that notification, and I'm going to challenge everybody. Share, please, like, comment, subscribe. That stuff matters. The more you guys comment and like and subscribed, the more exposure I get on this channel, and it matters. It matters. You know, if I can get this big enough, I'll put out content every day. There's plenty. It's rich, man. You know, but I want to do this full time. Okay? I want to do it full time. I want to do this full time and take care of my garden and take care of my place and raise my chickens and all that crap. But, you know, anyway, thanks, Charlie, and to everybody else, thank you for being here. Yeah, we'll talk about chili after we get done with this. It's only like 18 minutes or something. Let's go ahead and get through this. But please, you guys, like, comment, and even if it's just 100% or a smiley face or a good looking out or whatever, in the comment section, it helps. Okay, and I need it. We need it. You know, because me and Kennedy we're trying to grow one or two of these. You know, both of our channels or just mine or whatever. We're working mostly on mine, but you know, we need to grow. We need to grow. The more we grow, the more powerful this message is going to be going out. And I can't, you know, we cannot do it without helping each other. So you guys have been doing good, but I need more comments. I need more likes. I'm not getting enough likes from you cats out there in the audience, but here we go.
Fuck these cops, you know what I mean?
They're criminals, man.
Yeah.
This here is the 6-page.
They're the most dangerous gang in America.
Yeah, for sure. This here is the 6-page criminal, federal criminal.
Against you?
No, against whoever's taking part in this against me.
Okay.
For extortion, deprivation of rights under color of law, conspiracy against rights, treason, domestic terrorism, and conspiracy to attempt murder.
What the fuck?
Dude, they fucked me up in the jail. They did not do me a service. They like froze me and they like stuck me on the concrete for like 6-7 hours. I'm all screwed up. I have motor neuron disease, so they dang near killed me. I'm not kidding you.
Here?
Yeah.
Matter now?
Eventually they came in and found me just basically catatonic, shaking, and just,
Having like a seizure type?
I don't know. I always shake, and the more I use my muscles, I get to a point where I'm just like completely out of control.
Your nerves?
Yeah. And they put you in those concrete cells, and there's no padding, there's no place to sit.
Yeah.
You're right on the conductive surface, so you're freezing.
They just leave you there for fucking hours and
Yeah.
they take their sweet ass time. Yeah.
7-8 hours later, it's like, dude, are you kidding me?
Yeah, this is the torture aspect. So you can go ahead and throw in violations and crimes against the Eighth Amendment of anybody that's thrown in jail. So there you go, because it's torture to be held right at the cusp of being hypothermic, and 50 degrees will hold you right at the edge of being hypothermic, and it's not good for you. It's bad for your blood pressure, it's bad for your circulation, it's just bad.
Yeah, I developed a cough just dude, I was in there for 26 hours, and they screwed me up bad enough that I'm still feeling the effects of it pretty seriously. So I'm going to go in here and make a citizen's arrest today
I would.
on the judge.
Fucking judge.
And it's going to be federal, so
That's crazy. So a RICO charge, huh?
yeah.
Conspiracy.
Racketeering. Yeah, it's essentially it's when they work together to violate U.S. law, and it's like it becomes a criminal organization. You know, if a cop commits a crime and then he's held accountable, then the state is not a criminal organization. But if he's not held accountable, everybody becomes guilty that's involved. Everyone that's on this public payroll, everyone, even the teacher at your school.
Yeah.
Like, you don't, as soon as the cops are looking in a kid's butthole, that makes everyone a pedophile, essentially. And they do that shit. I tease them about it and they act like it's a joke or something. Whew.
Robbery.
And they're just totally false. Mine are too.
Yeah.
They don't even have any evidence.
Exactly.
They never did.
Yeah, I'm about to turn down their plea deal. Go to trial and fuck that.
Mm-hmm. Look at this sign on the left here. It says assistive listening. So over here they're telling you no electronic devices. Over here, they're telling you no audio devices. And now they're saying, we have assistive listening.
All right. Please be seated.
Okay, so here's the deal, right? The dude that Kennedy was just talking to, the reason we had that flash is because they opened the court and this guy started, apparently he was giving personal information to Kennedy, so he cut it out. And then the dude that was sitting next to him was first up. And from what Kennedy was telling me, his lawyer did the exact same shit to him that Chili did to him in the first trial, right? Like he was questioning the cop, trying to prove that Chili did something wrong. Like this other dude's lawyer was doing the exact same shit to this guy. And maybe he'll get permission to air that from the guy, and we'll be able to go over that, because it sounds to me like another serious indictment of these lawyers and this country club attorney system that they have here that works against us. They get paid a shitload of money to make sure that we get in trouble no matter what.
Okay, next let's take up State of Oregon versus Kennedy Walker, case number 24CR0709. Are you recording right now, Mr. Walker?
Oh, I don't answer questions pursuant to the Fifth Amendment.
Okay, see, that's how you do it. No, this is right now. This is yesterday. Okay, this is yesterday's court. Look at the timestamp, 2024-7-10. Absolutely yesterday. That's why he's not here today, because he had to go back to court today. But, I figured I'd go on with the show because we haven't missed one in a while. But we will, unless he has to go back to court again tomorrow or they put him in jail today, we will be, both of us will be live again tomorrow. But see, right here, Kennedy says, I don't answer questions pursuant to my Fifth Amendment right. You have to, that was basically live yesterday, or just several hours after, after he got out of court. He didn't fuck around. He got it posted really quick. But see, Kennedy, he says he doesn't answer questions, and then he invokes his Fifth Amendment. You have to invoke all these rights verbally for the record. No, this was yesterday, guys. He got arrested this week because I talked to him on Sunday, so it was sometime between Monday and Wednesday that he got arrested on this bogus-ass warrant, which is related to the arresting the cops at the farmer's market, but I won't say more about that because it's all pending, and it's not my business to talk about it. But if you think, and you rewatch that video, you'll figure it out yourself. But, let's keep that on the QT so we don't fuck up his case. I mean, I don't think we really can, because the cops and the judges, they all commit crimes, and once they commit the first crime, which is the Fourth Amendment violation of our being secure against unreasonable or unlawful search and seizure, the reason is the warrant. The warrant is the reason. Same reason and warrant mean the same thing. So let's go ahead and watch some more of this.
How am I supposed to? You don't have to answer. I'm not asking you a question regarding the crime. I'm asking you. Fifth Amendment of the United States Constitution offers you the right to remain silent against any kind of criminal prosecution or any kind of investigation.
Are you?
It doesn't say that. It doesn't say that. We have a right to remain silent no matter what. No matter where we are, we don't have to answer any questions to any public official unless we're compelled by a warrant or a subpoena behind a warrant. And the warrant has to have a complainant. And there is, in this case, there is no complainant, but the judge doesn't care about any of that. He's trying to explain that, you have to fill out your permission slips and blah, 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 blah to invoke your rights. And that's some reptilian garbage is what that is. Let's go.
Providing me legal advice?
There's a comment that you have to ask.
Okay.
So, are you recording right now?
Oh, I don't answer questions pursuant to the Fifth. I will go ahead and invoke my Fourth Amendment right to be secure in my property and my First Amendment right to freedom of press, though.
And see how he did that? He slipped that in real quick, and he gets him every single time. This judge just doesn't know what's happening.
We're going to get through this right now if you don't want to. Do Are you waiving counsel?
I am.
Okay. Did you fill out the waiver of counsel form?
You should have it, don't you? Do you not have it?
Okay. You're answering my questions right now.
I'm in charge of what I answer. I hold my own counsel, so I'll decide.
Okay.
I love how Kennedy just yeah. He man, he doesn't let this entitled toddler that's sitting on the bench in his pimp black robe to even really get any words in edgewise, and I love that about Kennedy, man. He just doesn't give him any place to wedge in there at all. Yeah, this is correct. But see, everybody in that courtroom who isn't just an observer or a plaintiff or a defendant, right? They're all guilty of crimes against every single person that comes through that door. Even people that are sitting in the audience, they're guilty of committing crimes against them as well. Okay, the stenographer, the bailiffs, the clerk that might be sitting in there someplace, this judge, anybody who's there in an official capacity is guilty of crimes against every single citizen that walks in there. And that's why the recording inside that courtroom is so dangerous and so offensive to them.
You have an electronic device that's beeping on your chest. You're not allowed under rules to record during the court proceedings. I don't know if you're recording or not. You want to answer my question. We are going to reset this till tomorrow so we can come back.
So we're not going to have court today because you won't tell me if you're recording or not. If that isn't entitlement and redress, I don't know what the hell it is. This judge is a child, and he has no idea what his job is. Yeah, you're absolutely right. What's the matter with you? All of them are collaborators. They're all aiding and abetting each other in committing crimes. That's the whole deal with socialists, man. The first requirement to becoming part of the socialist just us system, which is our government, is the willingness to commit crimes and the willingness to help cover up others' crimes and to help them commit those crimes successfully. Those are the only requirements to being a socialist. You will commit crimes with us.
Tomorrow at 1 o'clock, and you shall have no devices on you of any kind that could potentially be recorded.
Okay.
And to do that, we'll do
At this time, I'm going to go ahead and place you under a private person's arrest under ORS 133.225. I'm including in this federal criminal complaint extortion, deprivation of rights under color of law, conspiracy against rights, treason, domestic terrorism, and conspiracy to attempt murder under RICO.
Now, those are all really serious charges that he's bringing up, and watch how this entitled little toddler just blows it off. Now, once Kennedy turns over these charges to a federal officer, this judge might start singing a little bit of a different fucking tune out of his beak, because it's serious. Those charges are very serious, and USC 242s, they very rarely go unanswered. Okay? They almost always go through the process.
At this time, deprive me of my First Amendment right to counsel.
Not at all. You're welcome to apply for an attorney or hire an attorney.
Okay, so he's saying that he didn't apply to be pro se, but he told me today that he did apply to be pro se. But because he wrote in a bunch of crimes that they committed on that form, they just threw it in the trash or they filed it somewhere because they didn't like how he filled it out. Because they know that once that stuff gets entered into the actual record, be it, this court transcription or on paper, then they're in trouble. And this is why they throw away. If you go into the police department and you fill out one of their complaint forms, guess where it's going? The chief is going to look at it. He's going to make a red X on it, and it goes in the shred box, and nothing else is ever done about it. I swear to you, unless you hear from IA within 24 hours, nothing is going to be done with those complaints. Nothing. Because they never hold each other accountable. That's right, Mike. Yes. Hey, don't worry about it, Mike. It's gonna get posted here as soon as we're done. Yeah, it gets thrown right in the fucking trash. But see, now Kennedy has all of this on record. So he can get those transcripts and enter them into evidence in his federal 242.
Well,
You told me you didn't want one.
I'm already placing you under arrest for treason. Treason is actually, because treason is something that enemy combatants do during wartime, you actually don't get a trial. So from this point forward, you will no longer hold the bench anywhere because traitors are not allowed in public service. At this time, I'm placing you under arrest. I would like to get a bailiff to transfer custody of Judge Hung, and then I would also like him to contact a federal agent to transfer.
Okay, so obviously they're not going to do any of that because they're socialists and they're collaborating to commit crimes against we the people. And because there's a drug war and a CPS war and a war on poverty and a war on this and a war on that, we exist in a state of war with our own government, which makes these civil servants who commit crimes against the people by violating their rights and by conspiring to do so, they're all traitors. And not only do they not get a trial, they are subject to immediate execution during wartime. Okay, traitors don't get a trial. They get arrested, they get conveyed to a place of execution, and then they're executed. That's how it's supposed to work.
For custody.
Mr. Walker, you can tell me you're under arrest already. I'm giving you 2 options.
Pursuant to ORS 133.225, a private person may arrest another person for any crime committed in the presence of the private person, if the private person has probable cause to believe the arrested person committed the crime. I do have that. A private person making such an arrest shall, without unnecessary delay, take the arrested person before a magistrate or deliver the arrested person to a peace officer. Is there a magistrate here to deal with this?
Right in front of you. That's me.
Yeah, right in front of you. That's me. Yeah, guess what, Judge? You don't get to make any more decisions today because your ass is under arrest for treason. You're no longer in charge of the court, but he just continues on like the toddler that he is. You know, he needs a little bit of powder on that dome of his. He's going to break the cameras in the courtroom with all that flash. Yeah, I think that public execution of traitors is probably a good idea. I'm not for the death penalty, except in a case of high treason or high crime. Children, the elderly, victimize those people. As far as I'm concerned, you don't deserve to walk around anymore. You know, it should be. But, you know, that's a discussion for another time. But I'm not judge, jury, or executioner, but I will happily put a rope around the neck of a traitor and then push them off the gallows. They're not getting any drops. They're getting short ropes, which means they get they get 2 or 3 minutes to think about how dead they're going to be. That would be my preference. But I would prefer to convert these traitors back into American citizens with some honor and some morals and get them back on the right track. Dead people don't contribute anything. And these people could be converted back to citizens and back into righteous human beings. Some of them. Maybe most of them, even. Not all of them, surely. But, you know, treason is a very serious thing. And, you know, we can't abide it. We can't abide it at all. Hey, look, man. A short rope is a terrifying thing. It is a hell of a motivator for people to act right. The swinging and the 14-foot rope, that's too much, man. You're killed instantly. I prefer the way they did it in Nuremberg. Let them strangle. Let them strangle. If they can't be converted, which is my preference, I do not want to kill anyone. I don't want anyone to die. Except for those people that are heinous criminals, that have, we don't need to talk about that. But man, look, if we make it look as serious as it really is,
No.
then these people are going to start acting correctly. They're going to correct themselves because they don't want to strangle for 3 minutes and then go off into the black. They don't. Who the hell would want that? Who the hell would want that? Nobody. So maybe they'd start acting right. Let's listen to this little garbage golem that's on the bench here.
For any crime committed in the presence of the private person. If the private person has probable cause to believe the arrested person committed the crime, I do have that. A private person making such an arrest shall, without unnecessary delay, take the arrested person before a magistrate or deliver the arrested person to a peace officer. Is there a magistrate here to deal with this?
Right in front of you. That's me.
No. You will never sit the bench again because you've been accused of treason, and you don't get a trial because we're at war.
I'm going to give you two options right now.
He's going to give him two options. He's going to give him two options because he can't accept what he really is. He cannot accept that not only is he an oath-breaking traitor, but he's a criminal, and he hates America, and he hates Americans. That's what this little punk on the bench is saying right now. I'll give you two options.
Number one is you come back tomorrow without any kind of potential recording device, and we can complete this process. Option number two is I can find you in contempt for inability to complete this process.
You're not a judge, and
Inability to complete this process is not covered in Oregon statutes which involve contempt of court. Okay, because Kennedy he's exercising his First Amendment right as press to record his own goddamn trial. And the judge is telling him, no, if you don't turn that thing off tomorrow, you're going to be held in contempt and you go into jail, or hold in contempt today. But he keeps threatening that. But
in fact, you're in my custody.
So which option would you like to go back to?
He doesn't get it. He's arrested, which means he cannot proceed any further. According to the Constitution, this judge is just committing more and more and more crimes. He's resisting arrest. He's obstructing true justice under the Supremacy Clause. Every second he keeps committing more crimes.
At this time, I'm going to invoke my Fifth Amendment right to remain silent.
Let me ask you this. If I let you leave now, will you come back tomorrow 1 o'clock without me?
Why can't we do it now? It's pretty obvious that I'm competent counsel for myself.
I love that. He says it's pretty obvious I'm competent counsel for myself, and you're goddamn Skippy right, he is. Charlie Harrington, yeah, that's right. He's recording crimes. Can't have that. That's exactly right, man. That's exactly right. But it's all on the transcript. It's all on whatever they're recording here. There's a camera here, and there's probably a camera over that way somewhere, and then over off to the sides. There's probably 4 cameras inside that courtroom. Yeah, pro se is best because if you're not a complete idiot and you can talk. All you have to really. The law is so simple that an 8-year-old who understands his rights can go in and argue himself out of a ticket for operating an unlicensed lemonade stand. Okay, that's just the fact of it. But they have to keep this facade going that they've made to protect themselves. Okay, this is why these people that talk about being a sovereign citizen and going against the corporate man and all this, that's crap, because the supreme law of the land is the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, the complete Constitution, okay? And it's so simple that, seriously, like an 8-year-old who has good reading skills can defend themselves in court, period. Like Mike B says, pro se is best. Absolutely correct.
The device that you won't ask it. If it's not a recording device, that's fine. But you're not allowed to record anymore. So
again, he just doesn't get it, man. We have the First Amendment right to record in that courtroom. It's a public proceeding. It's in a building funded by the public. We pay for it. But see, these socialist criminals have moved in there, and now they've changed the rules because they think, they have this mental illness called Munchausen syndrome, which, has an element of it where they project blame onto everyone else, or they want attention from everyone else. Okay? They're mentally ill. They have a God complex. Yeah, Mike B., you said it right, man. Yeah, pro se and the Bill of Rights frightens the life out of them because they took an oath to the Bill of Rights. And they know that what they're doing is treason deep in their hearts. They understand that they're committing treason against the very thing that created their positions in the first place.
again, And if you don't want to answer the question about the recording device, fine, but the board would not have any device on you tomorrow. So do you want to do this tomorrow, or do you want to?
You're no longer a judge. You've been arrested for treason.
You're no longer a judge. You've been arrested for treason. I love that. Yeah, Mikey B says, yeah, Baron von Munchausen. Definitely in my top 5 favorite Terry Gilliam movies. I fucking love that movie. It's great, man. That and Brazil. If you guys get a chance to watch Brazil, get it and watch it. And you'll see parallels to the way our society is going right now, and the things that me and Kennedy talk about, could become reality. It's Terry Gilliam's version of 1984, but it's Jonathan Pryce, Robert De Niro, who's the other dude? Oh, John Cleese. No, not John Cleese, but I can't think of his name. It's got an all-star cast. Let me put it to you that way. I can't even name all of them. Ian Holm is in it. Get a chance, watch it. It's hilarious. And Baron Munchausen is good too. But you see, Kennedy here, he stays on this. You're under arrest, so you're no longer in a judicial capacity. You're a prisoner. You're a prisoner of war, is what he really is, because he's a fucking traitor.
You don't get a trial. You are guilty under wartime rules already.
I need you to understand.
I need you to understand that I'm a toddler, and I take no responsibility for my actions, and I refuse to follow the law of the land. Which proves, every time this guy keeps insisting, he's proven that he is a fucking traitor to the Constitution, and that he is, in fact, guilty of crimes against the country, the people, and the Constitution. Period. And he's including himself now in a USC 242 conspiracy against rights.
That I'm unable to complete these proceedings right now because you don't answer my questions. Or I'm giving you an opportunity to come back tomorrow. Which would you like to do?
Oh yeah, he's guilty. Yeah, there's not even a trial involved. You violate the Constitution in time of war, you're a traitor. You're guilty of treason. Yep, yeah, right. You have two choices in that case. If I'm in charge, okay, you have two choices. You can convert yourself into a useful citizen by becoming a garbage man or a ditch digger, or somebody who picks vegetables, or somebody who tends to farm animals, or somebody who changes tires on private citizens' cars for money. Do anything except public service, because you're accepted from that. You are for now and forever done being a public servant because you committed treason. So you can convert yourself into a useful, productive member of society, or you can walk up this gallows to the short goddamn rope.
At this time, I'm placing you under arrest under Oregon ORS 133.225. The charges include extortion, deprivation of rights under color of law, conspiracy against rights, treason, domestic terrorism, and conspiracy to attempt murder under RICO.
I'm going to give you one more chance, Mr. Bell.
I'm going to give you one more chance. Are you hearing this, guys? Are you hearing this little punk-ass bitch on the bench here? He refuses to honor his oath. If he was an honorable man, he would close the proceedings and walk off that bench and abandon the court. That is his only option, and remand himself to the custody of the nearest peace officer. It's flabbergasting to me how brazen and the amount of hubris that these fucking people exhibit, man. It's just unbelievable. This guy right here, he's probably not going to be a good prospect for conversion into a productive citizen of society who can no longer hold public office. I'm just going to go ahead and say that now, because he's willfully committing treason over and over again in this courtroom.
I'm ordering you to take this man into custody. I'm going to transfer custody. Are you the sergeant? Are you the ranking officer here?
Yes.
I am going to transfer custody to you. I need you to contact a federal agent, and this is the federal criminal complaint outlining all of his charges.
I'm going to try to work with you as much as possible, Mr. Bell.
I have to disagree with you on that, Jeff. We are free. We're free to stand up for our rights. We're free to pursue our remedies using only the supremacy clause and the Constitution. Nothing outside of that is ever going to serve us without also serving these socialist criminals. We are free, but we have to insist on that freedom, like Kennedy is doing right now.
I'm going to give you another chance to come back tomorrow.
I'm ready to proceed with the hearing today, and I'm here today, and I'm handicapped, so I'm not going to be going through a whole bunch of unnecessary and extra steps, because that's not equal protection under the law, which is my 14th Amendment requirement. I am guaranteed equal protection under the law. That means that I don't have 10 hearings. I have the same amount of hearings as what's standard. I'm here ready to talk about whatever you want. You're the one refusing.
Right, which is a violation of the 14th Amendment. You know, he just keeps stacking up the crimes. You see how these people do? Just like the cops, man. When they pull you over, that's a Fourth Amendment violation. That's a Fourth Amendment violation. And then once they pull you out of the car and they kidnap you, the crimes just start stacking up and stacking up and stacking up and stacking up until you get out. And then you can add extortion, kidnapping, while in possession of a firearm, assault, battery, SA crimes, because they're going to look up your butthole. That's an SA crime. These people don't have immunity from any of that stuff. Once they start breaking rights, once they start violating your rights and breaking the Constitution, their immunity goes right out the fucking window. No, Kennedy will be in, he'll be in court in about 45. Yeah, Kennedy will be in court in about 15 minutes. Hey, what's up, David? Man, it's been a while. All right, let's go on with this farce, man. This guy, Jesus.
And honestly, I'm going to tack on a disrupting my business estate charge if you do that.
Even though you're willing to talk about anything I want, is that a recording device?
I don't answer questions pursuant to my Fifth Amendment right.
Talking about anything I want.
Yeah, David and everybody else, I mean, he's not going to be broadcasting live. I don't even know if he's going to take the camera into court this time. He's going to do whatever he can do. You know, he's not in a position where he can afford to be in jail physically. So he said he's probably not going to try to record. But he's also not going to drop any of these charges. He's absolutely not going to do that. He's going to pursue this whole thing. So here, I'm going to do this again if any of you guys want to talk. Yeah, he has constitutional rights, but you know that judge is going to ignore it just like he does all through this proceeding.
Well, yeah. I'm trying to make this, Mr. Walker. I'm a whole drink at 10:30 days custody.
Your Honor, who's the complainant?
There is no complaint.
Exactly. I have a fourth.
Yeah, see, the judge admits that the whole proceeding is a sham. If there's no complainant, then there's no case. Without a damaged complainant's sworn statement, the affidavit of the injured party who brings a criminal complaint against whoever is in front of the court, without that, you've got no case, old man, no case.
Amendment right not to be seized without a warrant. I need a federal agent here to deal with this federal complaint. There is no complainant. Lawyers, you guys know there's no complainant. That means I cannot be seized without a warrant.
Yep, that's right. Mr. Harrington, that's absolutely correct. Well, Mr. or Mrs. Charlie can also be a girl's name. Yeah, that's absolutely right. He's admitting to a crime right there. He's admitting to a crime.
You cannot get a warrant unless you have an injured complainant that is going to sign a statement of damages. You don't have that for the original case. So this original case is not legitimate in any way. There's no complainant. And I actually moved to suppress the warrant because it's illegal on those grounds. And I also moved to dismiss the case.
Yeah, David, we're not going to get into that. There is no such thing as a tribunal hearing. That's a farce. It's a fiction. It's a lie, okay? It's a lie that these socialist criminals operate under so they can subvert the Constitution. It doesn't make it legitimate just because they say so. Well, it's a tribunal. No, it's not a tribunal. There's no tribunals in this country except in the military. Then those can be tribunals. Of course they can be tribunals. We don't live on a motherfucking ship, David. We don't live on a ship. This is not maritime law. This is constitutional law. We live in a constitutional republic run by socialist criminals who took the country by stealth. Get it through your head, man. Please, please come around to thinking about this the right way.
Because there's no warrant, there's no complaint, and I have a right to face my accuser. That'll be a Sixth Amendment right. And there is no accuser. There is no crime. I've never been accused of a crime. You don't. Your charging document doesn't even have a complainant listed or anything.
That's not my charge. I'm willing to. Okay, I'll give you one more chance. You want to try?
I'm going to give you one more chance to bow down to the socialist, to do what the socialist says. Nah, fuck that.
Try this again tomorrow without any recording device, or am I going to continue to hold you in contempt?
Under duress, I will go ahead. I mean, hold on a second. You're saying I'm going to jail no matter what?
No, I'll give you a chance to come back tomorrow if you come back without any devices and cooperate with me tomorrow.
And
So when he says cooperate with me, what he means is go along with this bad joke that we socialist criminals have compiled against you. The court that David believes is legitimate. No offense, David, man, but come on, you got to come around, brother. You got to come around. If everybody doesn't get on this page, we're fucked. We have no chance of winning this back without blood in the streets. Do you understand that? This is the bloodless alternative. But you have to give up on this fiction that you believe the courts are. It's all crap. It's all it's in the fiction section of reality, okay, man? Fiction. The reality is the Constitution under the Supremacy Clause, which is above everything else in the land, above decision, above arbitrary rulings, above arbitrary opinions, above statutes that are unconstitutional. If it's unconstitutional, it's null and void, dude, which completely eradicates the idea of a tribunal. Okay? Completely. For the citizen. For the enlisted man, justice is a little bit different. All right. Yeah. Jeff's got it right. One more chance. Just one more chance. The reason that this judge doesn't hold Kennedy in contempt and arrest him is because he knows that Kennedy's right.
I will agree to that under duress.
Okay, so come back tomorrow. I'm not going to hold you in contempt. No devices, nothing that beeps or shines that they could possibly record. And then we're going to go over.
What about my do I have a Fourth Amendment right to be secure in my property? Can't I have whatever property
You cannot take whatever property you want wherever you want.
Yes, you can. That's the Fourth Amendment, dude. You don't have a right to tell us what we can and cannot carry. This judge, he's irredeemable. I'm going to stamp it on his forehead. Irredeemable. Straight up the scaffold.
Fourth Amendment rights protect you from the taking of your property.
But isn't this a public trial?
You can't bring a gun in here. That's your property.
Well, this is public property, and I have a Second Amendment, so actually...
Do you want to come back tomorrow and cooperate with me, or do you want to go to jail? Let me know.
Do you want to cooperate or do you want to go to jail? In other words, come and play my bullshit wiffle ball game, and we'll call it the majors. When what you're trying to do is major league stuff, but we'll play wiffle ball over here with this bullshit that I'm going to make you comply with because I'm a socialist criminal. Jesus Christ, this guy. He's irredeemable, man. This judge is irredeemable. He cannot be repurposed. He would have to come to God in a big way.
Well, if you're asking me what I want, I'd rather proceed right now, but I certainly don't want to go to jail, so I will come back tomorrow if that's the only option available.
Well, that's not the only option. You know the other one, but I think it's...
Two options. You come back tomorrow without your camera or you go to jail. Those are your two options. Does this smell anything like Chili's trial to you guys? Does it seem anything like this is a fucking railroad job by this pimp in a black robe? Does it seem like that to you guys? Because it sure does to me.
the better option.
Right.
But we're gonna try this again tomorrow. I need you to cooperate with me. I'm not trying to throw you in jail if I don't have to, but I have to get through this hearing. So we'll see you tomorrow at 1 o'clock. And
No, what he has to do is dismiss it. All he had to do was dismiss the goddamn case with prejudice. If there's no complainant, then you dismiss. Period. Period.
I need you not to have any devices. And just answer my questions. I'm not charging you with anything. The state's charging you with a crime. I just need to get through it to get your case moving. Okay?
I understand, Your Honor. I appreciate your sympathy.
Okay. We'll see you tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Okay?
Okay. One other thing, though. At trial, we will be bringing up the confrontation clause again.
That's
So,
absolutely fine.
okay.
But we need to get through several steps before.
Okay.
Okay. See you tomorrow.
All right. That's going to be the end, basically, of that. And Dave is here. I know he's going to want to talk about. I know what he's going to want to talk about. I'm going to entertain him just because I like him. I think that Dave is a stand-up dude. Anybody else who wants to come in, feel free. What's up, Dave? Sell me on Admiralty Court again, brother.
Hey, dude. Oh, there you are. Okay, good. I was just trying. I had another YouTube channel running in the background. I couldn't find it. I was trying to turn it off before I got on.
That's a good idea.
I literally just woke up, man. I think I have a cold or something. It's really weird. But yeah. So I saw he was in there. It's crazy, man. What happened? How did this originate? I didn't get that story from his video.
Well, these are charges related to what happened before, when he arrested the cops at the park, and he had, he ranted, he lambasted them, and he said, "What's it like to be so stupid? You have to work for me." That video. This was a retaliatory arrest because of what he did that day, but they waited this long to do it because they, I don't know why. I mean, I guess they sat, this.
What was the charges?
Well, I don't know. He hasn't told me that. But I can, if you watch that video where he arrests them at the farmers market, you'll probably get a good idea of what it's for.
Yeah.
I just don't want to talk about it.
No.
In detail, because I don't want to fuck up his case, because these pigs, man, they're watching his channel, and if they're watching his, then they're watching mine too, because they see we're in it together. So I don't want to say anything that's going to get him or me in trouble.
Hey,
Although,
yeah.
Go ahead, man.
No, go ahead, keep going.
No, go on, bro. You're here to talk. I'm here to listen.
Oh no, I was just I'm sorry I interrupted you.
It's all good.
So I'm watching it, and I was watching you, and I don't. It's so funny, man. I don't disagree that that there are rights that are enumerated by the Constitution, right? That we have. But they're God-given rights.
That's right.
So we have those rights, no doubt. But you only have those rights as much as, like I think you said, you're willing to fight for them, right?
That's absolutely correct.
Right. So right now in the world we live in, Kennedy's all by himself, man. Nobody's in court with him. If we had 100, 500 people go to court with him, that could be very helpful for him too, I would imagine. But we don't, and so it's kind of scary situation he's in, I think, because he's trying to play by rules that are not being played by right now, is what I'm saying.
Well, I don't know if a crowd is necessarily the answer. I mean, surely public pressure counts for a lot in these kind of fights, most definitely. But right now we just, we have a bunch of people that are worried about admiralty courts and SCOTUS decisions and this and that statute that's all unconstitutional. And everybody is so resistant to the actual remedy, which is in the Constitution. The remedy for all of our problems is in the Constitution. It's all laid out right there, man. Those are the only tools that we need, bro. But everybody is, they push against anything that's simple. Human beings want everything to be complicated, I guess. I don't know.
Do you think what the court is doing is criminal?
Absolutely. absolutely. There's no doubt it's treason. Everybody that's in that courtroom is guilty of aiding and abetting the enemies of we the people, because we're at war, man. They, if it's not clear to everyone, even the people that only think that case precedent and SCOTUS decisions and statutes and ordinances and township rules or whatever are the law, they still have to agree that we do live in a state of war with our government. Probably all the way up to the Congress, man.
You say our government. Why do you say our government? They're not my government. That's for sure.
Well, no, they're not acting in our best interest. So
Right. Are they a legitimate government in your
No,
mind?
I don't believe they are. I believe
Right.
they're an illegal occupying foreign power.
Yeah.
That's what they are.
Yeah. So that's what I'm trying to get to with Kennedy all the time. Is that how can you expect a outcome based on law when you're dealing with
criminals.
criminals? Yeah.
Right. That's why we got to get rid of them. Man.
Now-
we have
now-
to call them to task.
Yeah. I agree. It's funny because I'm kind of contradicting myself here when I think about it. Because I was going to say that in their minds they are not in their twisted world, they're not breaking the law, right? Because they are following like contract law, contract legal, the legal system, contractual, right? So in their minds, hey, we're in a contract here and we're enforcing the contract that you agreed to. That's the way they're playing it, right?
Yeah. Well, that's a contract is only as good as it is legal. And if it's not legal, then it's no contract at all. That's a fact. Any lawyer will tell you that. If the contract's not legal, it's not a contract. And the contract that they're trying to hold us to and the system that they're trying to enforce on us is illegal on its face.
Right.
It is so illegal, it stinks like a pile of rotten corpses. That's
I agree.
how illegal it is.
I agree. That's why I'm saying why like play in the arena that you're in, and the arena that you're in, all you have to bring up is that, hey, you're telling me I'm in a contract. Show me the contract. How is a fiction bringing charges, a claim against a living man, right? Oh, and B, why is he even in court in the third place? Man, you go to court. Don't you think at some level you're giving jurisdiction? And I mean, I hope did he say he's there under duress?
Yeah, he said he was making the decision under duress,
Yeah, but did he say he appeared? And you don't even want to say you appeared.
Right.
You don't want to give them one little ounce. Why do you think they ask? They ask like 20 times. I watch these shows. They always want to know. So are you representing yourself today? They'll ask him that like 50 times, right? So who's representing you? Are you going to represent yourself? All they want you to do, they don't care if you say yes. Because the second you say you're representing yourself, you're now representing the corporation, right? You got all that. I know you do.
I in their minds, that's how it works, but in reality, that's not the system we live under.
I agree, but in reality, the reality is if this was complete bullshit, why even go to court? Why even show up? Right? I mean, why give them any? That's giving them literally legitimacy in my mind.
Well, that's true to a point. However, when you are arrested under a warrant and released on your own recognizance, or you're bailed out or whatever, you have to go back to court. That's part and parcel of the Constitution.
No. He could give. That's why I'm saying, hey, when he got this letter, I posted the one guy on my channel that he made fun of, Richard McDonald. But Richard McDonald's I don't ever go to court. He's like, he serves him up judicial notices beforehand and says, listen, I'm going to agree to come in for sure. 100% I'll agree to come in. But before we get started on these matters, we need to settle, who am I? I'm a living man, and there's a fiction that's you bring up all these things beforehand, so they have to answer them before anything proceeds from there. Then you just cut them off at the pass. No.
Okay, I see. I hear your argument, and it's compelling. However, how do you fight against a fiction by trying to prove that it's a fiction?
You don't. what they don't want to do is they can't have, like, the judge supposedly, this is what the guy Richard McDonald says. He's like, the judge isn't there to make your life miserable. He's just there to rule the court, right? To be, all right, whose side is the ball on right now, right? And so it starts off where they put the ball in your hands, and now you're like, okay, what am I going to do? Right now they brought these weird charges against me. I don't even understand them, right? And if the second you go in, now you've said you've entered their jurisdiction, and you've kind of already committed to saying, yeah, I agree with your system. I'm here, right? So before you do that, you say, hey, okay, wait. This is a contract you sent me, and I agree to get involved with your contract upon, it's called conditional acceptance, right? You familiar with that at all?
No, I'm not.
Yeah,
I mean, I understand the concept.
Yeah, conditional acceptance is hugely strong because the court is only there to solve controversies, and a controversy is when there is a disagreement between two parties, right? So you don't want to have a disagreement. So you're saying, oh yeah, no, everything's fine. I'm with you. I get what you're saying. Please just explain to me these following facts that I am a living man. How is a fiction something that is a fiction, which is the prosecutor, right? Prosecutor he's a fiction for the state, like Kennedy said, right? So please just explain to me how a fiction is, coming after me with criminal charges. Please explain to me, is this what type of court is this? Is this a Nisi Prius court? Nisi Prius is a contractual court, right? Why am I in a contractual court? I don't have a contract. If I do have a contract, show me the contract. So you give them all these impossible hurdles, because if they try to show them in the court, now they're admitting their fraud, right? So, and he's, according to the Richard McDonald guy, man, he's like, you just cut him off at the pass. And he's like, I don't go to court. You should watch his video on my channel right now, man. It's really, really, I mean, but I mean, we'll see. I'm interested. I really hope Kennedy is correct, and that, you can just say, I'm the living man in court, and you stand your ground, and that's all you have to do, which is, to me, even better. Then you're like really saying, hey, F you. But he was getting roughed up in there, man. Guys, tell him, listen, you keep it up, I'm gonna put you in contempt. Second year in contempt. Now he's in jail, in a jail cell again. That's no fun.
Well, here's the deal. It's the easy way or the hard way. The hard way is to stand on your rights and stand up against these criminals. Okay? The easy way is to do what you said. Just, call them out. But is that ever going to change anything? Only if everybody does it. Just like standing on your rights. If more people did that, or did what you're saying, yeah, the court system would crumble.
Yeah.
The court system would have to revert to a constitutional court, because there wouldn't be any profit in trying to prop up a fiction that's been roundly exposed as what the fuck it is. It's two different ways to get where we need to go, but the simpler way is just to stand on your rights and bring charges against these fucking assholes.
Yeah.
Because once you get them on a 242, they have to see it. Okay? They have to take it. They don't have a choice, man. It becomes federal at that point. Once it's federal, there's no denying it.
Yeah.
No denying it.
Wow.
That's just the way it is. I understand that there's another way that can also be made to work, but it's more circuitous, and it's
Actually, I mean, in a way, it's not. And when he got this letter, all you do is you can literally write back on the letter. The another thing that another person said they do is that if you get a letter from the court addressed to your all caps name, just do wrong address, no contract, sit and have it returned to them. Wrong,
Right,
and you can put on there UCC 130, 30, whatever it is, whatever. Yeah, any of that. I mean, it's all because they're just trying to contract with you, man. And it's weird. It's so weird because, like, it feels like they follow, quote, the law at some level. It really does, doesn't it? A little bit?
No, because they're not following the law, because the law of the land is the Constitution of the United States of America, not the UCC. That's not it.
Right, but if you act as though you are listen, think of it like this way. Let's see it. Think of this giant United States as one giant McDonald's. It's one McDonald's, and almost everybody in the United States says, yeah, I work for McDonald's. Well, if you work for McDonald's and you say you work for McDonald's, like they actually there's another, I think, I don't know if it's in law or not, but they are able to presume that you're a United States citizen at this point, because how like 99% of the people quote consider themselves that. So, they're operating under the fact that you're an employee of their company and you got to follow their freaking rules. Like shit, I got rules at our business, right? And if somebody breaks the rules, there's consequences. I don't give a shit what the Constitution says, right?
Well, but you're talking about private business. I'm talking about government.
It's a private business. That's what I'm saying, though. The United States corporation is private.
Only the part that's in illegal occupying foreign national power. It's not the United States. It's
Right.
illegal
But it's-
occupying foreign power. Okay?
But it's operating as a private business, and it's hoodwinked the people to believe that it's public when it's actually private. And so that's why the 14th Amendment says you have privileges and immunities. It doesn't say anything about freaking rights.
the 14th Amendment is about judicial process. It's
14th
about your
Amendment.
Yeah, the 14th Amendment is about your rights to equal protection under the law. It's about the judicial process, man. It's about you having the right to write a criminal complaint about somebody else under the Fourth Amendment. It guarantees that the people that are in the government have to honor that and see it through. And if they don't,
No
then they're-
state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States.
read it all.
Yeah, I'm just reading, but that's the opening line.
Read the rest of it.
Nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. And that when they're saying without the due process, they're referring to their own legal system. They ain't referring to the freaking to God's law. Yeah. So the whole thing is that's why I find it funny. Like, it's weird though. It works both ways, because I find it funny that Kennedy thinks he's going to be afforded his God-given rights in a tribunal freaking hearing, which he even said it was. And then I find it funny that I think that at the bottom of all this, that these freaking criminals actually will follow the law. I mean, it's really, really crazy, man. Like, because I do feel like at the bottom of it, when pressed, they will not break God's law for some reason.
Well, you see, the judge didn't arrest him for contempt. He kept saying he was gonna, and he didn't, because he knew he couldn't. He knows deep down that if he arrests him for contempt because he wouldn't answer the question about the body cam, that he's violating the First Amendment. He knows that, man. He knows that, but he's still clinging on with his fingernails to that fiction. Yeah. And this is the problem. They're so delusional because they've been living behind this veil, and they've been told that they're special, they're higher than us. They're not. Nobody is higher than anybody in this country, period, no matter what. All men are created equal. Okay? I understand that, the 14th Amendment is it's not nebulous, and it's not confusing at all. It's really not. What it preserves is
Why would it not just say, what is this shit about privileges and immunities, man? What the fuck? Are you kidding me? Come on. Come on, man. That right there is sinning. It's like it should be bolded. In bold and in all caps, just to make fun of everybody for not freaking admitting that that's what it says. Come on. It's the first freaking sentence even. They didn't even try to bury it for some reason. Normally they try to bury their lies, in the middle of the paragraph. That one they just came out and they just said, listen, suckers, you got privileges and immunities. You don't got no rights.
Well, that's okay. Well, if that's the case, if the 14th Amendment really means that, then guess what? It's null and void. It's null and void. Because everything in front of it says that we have these God-given rights. The 14th Amendment then needs to be thrown out, doesn't it? It needs to be cut down to say, no state shall deprive any. The first part of it should go in front of that semicolon. The rest of it should go. No state shall deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor deny to any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the laws. Right? That's the only part that should be there. The beginning of it should go from your point, from your way of looking at it. And I see your argument. I do see your argument. However, that doesn't mean that they just get to throw us into this kangaroo system of bullshit that they've put us in through these goddamn. Look, man. I'm gonna read you my mission statement from my channel. Okay.
Yeah.
It is my firm belief. Okay, this entire channel is a protest of police, the FOP, and the government of the United States of America, and thus is protected under the 1A. It is my firm belief that these problems in our country can be corrected without violence. It is also my firm hope that those who have pursued the agenda of an illegal and treasonous takeover of our constitutional republic will stand trial and be judged for their treason. This is exactly what I'm talking about, man. This whole thing, all of it, is treason. It's been done by stealth. It's been done a little bit at a time over 200 years, over the course of 200 years, and guess who's done it? The elites, man, okay? The rich people, because they know that they own the system. They can get away with whatever they want. I'll give you a perfect example of this. We have this, it's called ComFest. It's the Columbus Community Festival, okay? I think 17 years ago, there were these kids there, and they were partying. They were, high school age kids, and they were rich kids. And two of them got in a fight, and one of them stabbed the other one to death. Okay, do you think he got tried for murder? Do you think he went to jail, but he never was charged with anything because his daddy was a fucking brain surgeon at one of the biggest trauma hospitals, one of the best trauma hospitals in the country, Grant Hospital. He never stood any kind of trial at all, but he killed this kid. He murdered him in front of countless witnesses, and they let him get away with it because his daddy had enough money to grease everybody's palms. Okay? That's not justice. That's not justice. That's pay to play just us system. That's what it is. And this is what this is what we're fighting against, man. When the black dude who gets pulled over for having his window tint gets shot to death by the police on the side of the road because he has words to say, and this kid gets away with murder in front of 100 fucking witnesses, how is there justice? There's no justice because the law isn't being observed by the people that are in those positions to enforce the law and lay charges against actual, real criminals. So, look, we're fighting against a system that can be defeated, but our remedy is the Supremacy Clause, man. Our remedy is the Bill of Rights. Our remedy is the Constitution. But we have to demand it, man. And yes. Is it risky? Yes. Is it dangerous? Of course it is. Freedom is dangerous. The Founding Fathers were clear about this, that a man who will value safety and security over freedom deserves neither one. I think that was Benjamin Franklin.
Yeah, I don't disagree with any of that, man. The problem is that you're going to end up a martyr if you're doing it like Kennedy is on your own often. There's, dude, who's that guy? There's a guy from like 15 years ago. He's been in prison for like the last 14 years. He had a militia I think down in Florida. And he was running the militia. He was growing it like 3,000 people. Then he wanted to go and he wanted to get into Congress, and they just figured out a way to infiltrate him and then try to bring him up that he was going against the government and was trying to plot to kill people. And supposedly he's been in prison now for the last dozen years with another 5 or 6 years left to go. Man, it's like holy shit, man. That's like that's where you can that's reality in a way. Hey, check this out, just in case. I don't know if you've ever heard this, but this is from famguardian.org, which is all about the law and everything.
Yeah.
It was rendered by John V. Parker, Chief Judge. So this is from a ruling. Petitioner's shield of the common law, so people who use common law as an unenfranchised sovereign individual of the United States of America, a republic, provides him with the same degree of protection from federal income taxation as did the ghost dance of the Sioux warrior from repeating rifles of the federal cavalry. 0, he wrote. And he goes, and then below it, they describe why. Many insist on using the common law to defend themselves. The reason we should not is because, first and foremost, you do not see the term common law in Scripture. bondservants of Christ are only to use God's law. Secondly, the common law is a commercial law today. So that's the common law of today is commercial code created by merchants, influenced by Roman law, and used for commercial purposes. The following definitions are taken, blah, 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 blah. So I don't know, that's kind of in my head where I think where I feel like, that's where we're at. I was constantly parading around saying common law is the law that we want to use. But meanwhile, no, it doesn't sound like that at all, does it? That's straight from a chief judge's mouth.
Yeah, well, I'll take that chief judge's word when he proves to me that he's an honorable, actual human being who is an American, not just some socialist criminal.
Yeah, that's
I don't take anybody. Look, man, can you trust anything that comes out of a cop's mouth? The correct answer is no, because they're taught to lie.
Tell them.
Yeah, they lie as a matter of course. They lie all day long. They lie to each other. They lie to judges. They're all a bunch of fucking crooks, man.
Charlie Harrington says, seems like he's here to sell the fear propaganda as a distraction from your channel, man. Fuck, yeah.
Well, I see we're having a conversation here. You're not going to convert me. Listen, years and years ago, I got with this dude who was a student of Gary. I can't think of his fucking name, but he's still in. This dude Gary is still in prison, and he was like one of the very beginning sovereign citizens, right? And his system didn't work at all. Okay, it didn't work at all. But it talks about straw man and everything else that you're talking about. It's more complicated. That kind of shit just makes it more complicated than it has to be. The remedy is simple.
I don't disagree with you that you're like playing in their world. I get it, man. I 100% get it. But what but the reality, listen, that's why I'm really interested in seeing how this pans out. And I'm really hoping that Kennedy does this and executes his plan perfectly and puts these guys in jail and they lose their freaking jobs and he goes on a warpath. I really hope that happens because it'll just give I honestly I don't have enough confidence in what he's saying. I mean, it's not so easy as just getting in your car and driving around without a license, without a driver's license, a license plate, and a registration, and thinking that you're not going to have freaking massive, serious issues possibly at some point. I don't believe that's true. Hopefully, I hope I'm wrong. Hopefully, I'm wrong. I don't know.
Well, Paul Unslaved did it your way long ago. I don't know. We can't really trust that video either because we don't see that possibly later on they issued a warrant or they did some retaliatory stuff against him because we know that pigs love to do that, man. That's what they do. If they perceive that you fucked with them, they're going to fuck back because they know they can to a certain point. Now, I don't know, man. It's just that Kennedy, mentally, Kennedy is as sharp as they come, okay? He has physical limitations that are going to work against him in this case because he can't be in jail. He just cannot be in jail because they're not going to let him take care of himself the way he's supposed to in jail. It's torture. It's a fucking torture chamber. It's a dungeon. We all know that. It doesn't have to be that, but they make it that because they can and because they like to see people miserable. We know how criminals are. Criminals are criminals are criminals, and what they love to see most is somebody else suffer, right? Unless they're professional criminals and they're going after bearer bonds or diamonds or whatever, and they're in and out and they don't hurt anybody except financially, right? But these people are reckless in our just us system. They're reckless and they don't care who they hurt, man. They love to hurt people.
Seems like it, man. They're crazy.
Well, there was this dick down in Georgia that was working near the Florida state line, and he framed, hundreds of people. And he got caught. And he went to prison for, he's doing a 12-year bid. He'll probably get out in 2 or 3 more years because of good behavior and because he's a pig. But he'll never be a cop again. But that they're going to take care of him, get him a job in private security, blah, blah, blah. That these criminals, they take care of each other, man. And they love to make people suffer. They just love to do that.
Yeah, so there's a lot on the freaking line. Like, to do this shit on your own is almost reckless, man. It's bordering on reckless, right? I mean, seriously, because they can do almost anything they want.
Yeah, they can, but that doesn't make them not. That doesn't make whatever they do not crimes. They're still committing crimes.
Who cares, man? If after the cop shoots me and kills me and I'm dead, do I give a crap whether they call it a crime or not, or what? I don't give a shit if the cop goes to jail at that point. I'm dead. You know?
Right. Well, my dad, when I was a kid growing up, and he was explaining, I get old enough to start running the neighborhood by myself. I grew up on the hilltop of Columbus, Ohio, which is a pretty fucking rough neighborhood. At 6 years old, I got in my first fist fight in an alley full of rusty junk and broken glass. Okay, so I come from a rough upbringing. I mean, my parents were great, and they had money and shit, but we couldn't afford to live anywhere nicer. But when he was explaining to me about how to cross the street, he said, "You're the pedestrian. That means you're walking. You have the right of way. But, if somebody runs that stop sign and runs you over, you might be right, but you'll still be dead."
Right.
So you do have to approach this with a little bit of caution and definitely a whole lot of discernment. And you have to understand your limitation. Like Clint Eastwood said, a man's got to know his limitations, right? And if you can stand to sit in jail for 6 months, like Chili almost did, to prove a point or to win the battle at the end, then yeah, do it. But if you can't, and Kennedy cannot, okay, he just physically cannot be in jail for that long. He can't.
Let me ask you, with like your example with Chili, with him doing what he did.
Yeah.
How far forward do you think that? Let's say you're on the football field, and I don't know where we are where the ball is, but wherever the ball is, how far forward did Chili's actions move the ball forward in your estimation?
Well, he got his conviction overturned. They never proved he committed a crime. So I would say that's a touchdown, man, because he's gonna have all kinds of lawsuits behind this. It's going to be USC 242s for at least 3 different people if he does it right: the judge, the prosecutor, and Bork. Okay, and he could probably take it all the way up the line, all the way up the chain of command, and sue the whole fucking department and sue the city of Las Vegas for violating his rights and for conspiracy.
Yeah, but I mean, but realistic. But it's a machine, man. So
yeah, it's a machine.
In terms of his influence on other people, it's like he had an attorney, which I can't even imagine hiring an attorney to quote represent me. So I don't even trust any of it in a way. But I guess I get it that people still don't still think that way. It's really weird. But in terms of influencing people to go out and do what he did, oh yeah, cool. So all I have to do is, when they do finally arrest me, and I was right from the beginning, we all know I was right from the beginning, all I got to do is spend a few months in prison, in jail, and hopefully, your appeal goes correctly. If it doesn't, you might have. I mean, that's a shit ass proposition, if you ask me.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I mean, there is a downside. Freedom, like the civil rights lawyer says, freedom is scary. Deal with it. Either don't have any freedom. Or
yeah, but that's in reference to actually having freedom and being able to live free. That's not in reference to living as a freaking. We're not free right now. We're not free.
We are free if we insist we are. You free your mind. Listen, man. You free your mind, your ass will follow. Period. If we were free, if I was free today and I felt free, I would have no problem taking off my license plate, taking off my registration, taking off that, and going out and cruising and going cross country, and being confident that if I did have any encounters with people, that I was going to be able to still uphold my rights. I don't have that confidence, man. Do you? Yeah, I do. I actually do, because I've done it, man. I've done it. I've been in situations where the pigs have had me dead to rights. I got no ops. My car is loud. And I start talking about my Fifth Amendment, my Fourth Amendment, my Sixth Amendment, and they're done. They don't want to hear any more of that, man, because they know that I know what I'm talking about, and they know that if they keep going, they're going to get something in their jacket that they're not going to like, because once they get sued, it doesn't matter whether you win or lose. It's in their jacket forever. And they know that. And they don't want to see, they don't want that, man. If they can avoid it, they don't want it. They just don't want
I
it.
don't know, man. They seem to not give a shit about Kennedy and what about him coming after them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm just like, bro, it's not like so easy.
No, I get you. I get you, man. I get you. All right. I want to inject this real quick. This is one of my favorite speeches, and it's applicable. But everybody, just check this out.
When the operation of the machine becomes so odious, makes you so sick at heart that you can't take part. You can't even passively take part. And you've got to put your bodies upon the gears and upon the wheels, upon the levers, upon all the apparatus, and you've got to make it stop. And you've got to indicate to the people who run it, to the people who own it, that unless you're free, the machine will be prevented from working at all.
That's where I'm at, bro. I'm at a point where I can't participate in the way that we're expected to. Everybody has to stand the fuck up. Yeah, it's risky. Yeah, it takes guts. Yeah, it takes some bravery. Yeah, it involves.
If we had 20% of the population stand up, it would be over very shortly.
You're right. It would be over. It would be over.
But that's what I'm talking about. Is like it's like like you said, they do have us in this mental prison, and it's whack-a-mole, man. If you stand up and exercise your God-given rights, you're gonna more than likely get punished for it. And I mean, I'm pretty sure Kennedy probably his idea of a good day today is not spending it in one of their freaking scumbag courts.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm also sure that he's going to get this case dismissed. I'm absolutely positive it's going to be dismissed. Because they don't have any evidence, man. They got no evidence. They don't even have a cut. From what he told me, what they have is an accusation. They don't have any witnesses. They don't have a complainant.
Yeah, of course not. He didn't do anything. I'm not arguing. I'm just concerned that the route he's taking, I don't believe. I really hope that he proves it right, because at that point, man, like I have my DS-11 all filled out for the American State National status on my passport, but all that's bullshit. It's still their world. You know what I mean? You don't need any of that shit. My problem though is that I don't want to be a freaking martyr, man. I don't want to. No one gives a shit if you end up in jail, or if Kennedy goes to jail for 6 months, or Chile goes, bro. People will talk about it. They'll send you some money and be like, "Oh, I care so much." But meanwhile, bro, you're the one sitting in jail, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't have anything to say to BZ, man. He's rude. And he doesn't even have a basic level of politeness. So I'm not going to deal with him anymore. I'm done with BZ. I hear you, Dave.
That's all.
Man, I agree with you to a certain point, but the fact of the matter is, this is our goddamn country. The Constitution gave it to us. Yeah. The founders fought a fucking war to give it to us against people just like the ones that we're dealing with today.
Yeah, dude,
there's no difference.
I don't even like saying what I said. I mean, it sounds like a coward talking. Like, that's literally, 100%. That's the whole problem, is they've watered us down to be such bitches that I guess that and some mind control where, you see enough cops beat on somebody and you get a little bit nervous. I don't know. I've always been nervous of the cops. So, pigs, I should say. Sorry about that.
It doesn't matter. Cops, pigs, whatever you want to call them. Don't apologize to me, Dave, man, because we're having a conversation. Look, the Constitution wasn't made for sissies. Okay, the Constitution wasn't made for men that tuck their dicks in and then run. Okay? The founders had a lot to say about how important bravery is in obtaining and holding on to your freedom. And, over the years, the government has shown that they're not afraid to kill people to get their way. Well, that's not how you rule. You don't rule that way, and our government's not supposed to work that way. But
Hey,
yeah, go ahead, man.
I'm sorry. You just I would forget it otherwise. But Brandon Joe Williams, he's more of he's going more along the whole American State National and going into details about the UCC and all that. I know you don't like that, but he had a guy on, and I Brandon Joe Williams would actually speak with us too. Although I think he would prefer if we had more subs where he would get more exposure. But he had a guy on. Here it is. If he had a guy on, Steven, and he wants to, on November 5th, he's trying to drum up everyone to take their license plates off that day and drive around and travel around without your license plate on. And he could, it's a pretty interesting interview if you check him out, if you're interested in that at all, because at least it's a step. Before you go out and you try to lift like 300 pounds, you got to start exercising before that, right? You got to start working out long before that. So he said, listen, you don't have to take your registration off. You don't have to you can have your license with you. He's like, but if everyone would just exercise on that day, the right to drive around without a freaking license plate, it's like exercising a muscle a little bit, I think.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And it would, okay. I would have to say that would probably draw a rather large retaliation. However, when you exercise your rights, there's always going to be a retaliation because these people are criminals, and you're standing on righteous ground when you're exercising your rights. Of course, the criminal is always going to retaliate against the righteous man. Always. Send me that link to my mail.
Oh, okay.
Dave,
yeah, actually,
please?
can I just put it in the comment real quick or in the private chat or no?
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah.
I just sent the name of it, but there's the link too. It's in the private chat right now. I'll put it in the comments of this video. I don't. Anyway, but
Okay, good. I got it now.
the thing is that the nice thing is about the UCC code. It seems like maybe it's a little gentler way to at least get exposure, because it gives people a little bit more of people are fearful of having to go into the courts. They're fearful of having to stand up on their own, and which is Kennedy isn't, which you got to give him credit. You know what I mean? He goes in there and he's standing right on his God-given rights, which is awesome. But a lot of people don't have that level of I don't know what you call it, conviction, whatever you want to call it, and
well, you got to have guts to do what he does.
Yeah.
And you have to be able to recite those amendments by rote, man. You have to know them. You have to be able to enunciate them. If you don't speak, you don't get your rights.
Yeah.
That's a fact. The Supreme Court has already said, even though I don't go by anything that they say, if you don't stand on your Fifth Amendment right and verbalize that, then you can't be quiet. Which, you should be talking about it anyway. Period. It should be, it should be, man. It should be something that comes out of your mouth automatically. It should be everything that you know all those things anyway, frontwards and backwards. And
I just put the name of that video in the chat for everybody if they want to check that out, whoever's watching. But
yeah, I'm all about taking off the plates and telling the pigs no. Just tell them no.
Yeah, I just think it's listen. What I was going to say is I think James C. Lovett. I don't know if you know him, but he's got like 70,000 subs. I know you look at what the David Straight guy has. He has 250,000 people who are they're at least actually thinking about this shit. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, I wish they would think about the Supremacy Clause in the Constitution instead, or as well, because using them both together, that might be the magic bullet.
Well, yeah, and rather than wish, those are probably our best target possible audience right now. Those are people who are already, they're already here, and like we said, it's not going to take all 300 million people, if there are 300 million people in the United States. It's not going to take all 300 million people to all of a sudden be free again. It takes a fraction of that, right?
Right. It doesn't take everybody, but it's once enough people do it, it's going to become more accepted. It's going to become.
Yeah.
I listen. I have a lot of faith in the black community because I see these brothers on these videos invoking their constitutional rights.
100%, man.
They're learning.
I agree with you.
And they're standing. And you know what that makes them? It makes them good Americans. It makes them real Americans, man. They got balls.
Yeah,
Listen,
yeah.
the black community is braver than the whole rest of the population of the country.
I
Look what
agree.
they've had to deal with, and
I
they're
agree.
still here, and they're still fighting, and I love them for that. I wish to God that we could bring all white people and all black people and brown and yellow and polka dot and purple together and get under the supremacy clause, dude. This shit would be over with. Over with. All these asshole socialist criminals that are in charge would have to go get real jobs, and then we could get real, honorable Americans to become cops, judges, governors, mayors, city councils. Look at how these city councils are acting all over the country, man. They're literally communists. They don't give a fuck what anybody has to say, but people are standing up left, right, and center. You have to admit that. There's a hell of a movement going on, man. It just needs to be. We need a clearinghouse, man. We got to get it together somehow. And
It's
if
really
we-
it's really difficult too, bro. They they control the mass media. They control YouTube. They control anything that starts gathering any momentum. They literally know how to take control of the movement itself, right? With controlled opposition and controlled
Well,
agents.
or they would come in and somebody would visit my house or Kennedy's house with a briefcase full of money because everybody has a price, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
And those people have all the money in the world.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I would be lying to you people if I said if a dude came to my house with a case full of $2 million, I would shut this channel down tomorrow and wish you all good luck. I would. I'm not lying. As much
Really?
as much as I love you and as much as I love the Constitution,
Sorry.
with $2 million, I can live my best life and good luck with all of it. I'm out of here.
You can't live your best life if you're not free, man.
I agree. I agree with that. But when you're holding $2 million in your hand, that's a hell of a lot of freedom to be bought right there.
Yeah, I hear you.
You know, but
Yeah,
that's
but it's
that's
a lot
never,
of shame involved with that too. Now,
But-
honestly,
but-
they're
no, no,
probably
I-
gonna they're probably gonna give you that load of money with an or you can take Plan B, which is Plan B is like you're gonna have a problem in your life.
Yeah, Plan B is
Yeah.
a shallow grave out back.
Yeah, so yeah, then it really starts looking attractive, or for one of your, who knows, maybe for one of your relatives. You know, they could do anything they want probably. And
They can try. They can try. But look, that's never going to happen. No dude with a briefcase is ever going to show up at my house offering me money. That's never going to happen. You know why? Because I got a whole 151 subscribers. If I had a couple of million or even 200,000, then maybe I would become a problem. But, you know, I'm not threatening anybody. You know, I'm just saying that
So-
these traders need to be converted one way or another.
So the only thing is I like this reminds me so much of Flat Earth, bro. Like everyone was excited, and by the way, Flat Earth wasn't even being censored at that time. I kind of feel like this stuff isn't censored. Like I don't understand why the First Amendment auditors don't seem to be quote censored, because I'm telling you, YouTube censors the hell out of Flat Earth.
Well, listen, here's the thing. Okay, and me and Kennedy have addressed this in the Frauditors video with Chuck and Patrick. Look, these people that are doing First Amendment audits, they're not helping because they're citing case precedent and SCOTUS decisions and blah 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 blah, but not their rights. They're not talking
Right.
about the Fourth Amendment. They talk about the First Amendment, and they rant and rave about the Second Amendment, but they seem to forget that there's a 5, a 6, an
Yeah.
8, and a 14, which are amendments that get violated, and thence the pigs commit crimes against us by doing that. But they're not doing that. So they're basically useful idiots for the establishment. They've become a joke. Okay, and you know, honestly,
But
I can't stand. I mean, they
but hold
are-
on, but hold on.
Yeah.
All I'm saying though is that or trying to or want to say is that back with Flat Earth, that was 7 years ago, man. And I started up a channel, so it was 6 years ago for my channel. My channel was blowing up quickly. I was getting new subscribers and all this crap, and then all of a sudden it all stopped, right? Whatever. The thing though is that we were like acting like or trying to act like we were going to make a plan to somehow wake everybody up, right? And then the world would change. It's kind of like I could see us having like a conversation like this 10 years from now, man, and nothing has changed. Like, that's scary, dude.
Well, you know, look, the first thing that the American people need to do is stop watching television, okay? You pick and choose your entertainment from online sources, all right? You get your news from independent sources like Home on the Range. Okay, Home on the Range is, you know, he doesn't, you know, he's just about bad police. That's all. He's just a reporter. He's like Brian. He's just a reporter. But now, see, Brian from Here's the Deal is, you know, he's starting to become an influencer, right? He's having these. He had these people on yesterday that were talking this esoteric crap in the Constitution, and I'm like, there's nothing esoteric about the Constitution. It's very straightforward. An 8-year-old could read it and understand it if they had a dictionary, man. You know, yeah. See, Jeff Hates Pigs has got it right. He hasn't had a TV in 25 years. I'll give you a perfect example, man. Every time I go over to my dad's house, they've got Fox News on.
Yeah, my parents too, man. It's
And
crazy.
you know, I went in one day and I came in just to hang out with them, and I walk in and they're both sitting there watching it. You know,
Drooling.
in my mind's eye, I'm seeing exactly that. They're sitting there with their eyes wide as saucers, drooling on themselves, sucking up all this fucking milk toast.
Dude, they do, man. They parrot it back so
Jesus.
much too.
Oh my God! And then I come around the corner and I see a blue line flag sticking out of one of their jars, and I said, "Why is this terrorist flag here in this jar right here? What is that?" And I came over here to hang out with you people. I didn't come over here to watch fucking TV. I came over here to visit you. You're my family. So can we turn that off? And can we get this flag out of my presence? It's offending the hell out of my American sensitivities. You know, it's a terrorist flag, man. Hey, Dave, I'm gonna give you the stage for like 3 minutes, man. Talk about whatever you want to. I got to get some water. I'll be right back.
All right, sounds good.
So it's all yours, bro.
All right. I was gonna say we almost like I'm not such a good prayer person, but man, I really do hope and pray that Kennedy, it works out for Kennedy in the court today, because yeah, he with his disabilities that he already has, and going it alone. Really, I don't know where Kennedy is located. I can't remember where Kennedy. Where what state does Kennedy live in? Because we would have been nice to get somebody to come out there with him and give him some support in that court. You know, the Bible says, you know, when you go out there, you don't want to go out there alone. I think you want to be with more than one. He's in Oregon. Okay, thank you. So you know, there's that. And I'm definitely not against Kennedy. I know he gets upset with me over the way I kind of view things in regards to what he's doing. But no, I'm behind him 100%. I just don't have the I don't have the balls, I guess, to go it the way he's doing it. So there's that. I put the link, folks. I don't know who's here. We got 8 people watching, so that's cool. I'm one
Hello?
of them.
Yeah,
Hey,
shut
you
the
back?
fuck up, Dave. I'm back. No, go ahead. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
No. I just was saying I put the name of the name of that video for everyone driving around in the chat somewhere. Oh, here it is. Yeah, Brandon Joe Williams and Steven the model anarchist is his name. Talk about the evil organization called DMV. That's the video name.
Yeah, the DMV, man. Those people. Listen, here, check this out. You guys are gonna love this shit. So I needed to get my ID. I I'm not going to get my driver's license until I'm working on a real estate deal that's going to give me enough money to fly the coop, and I'm going to do just that. But I'm not going to get my driver's license until I need to get my passport, and then I'm fucking out of here. I'm still going to do the cast, and I'm still going to work with this, constitutional rights angle, but I'm just not going to be here anymore. I'm leaving, man. I've had enough of this place. And I don't listen, I don't want to be anywhere near this fucking country if we get Biden or Trump in November. So, it's just a fucking disaster waiting to happen. And it doesn't matter which one of them gets elected, it's going to be a fucking disaster. And if Biden drops out and, God forbid, Gavin fucking Newsom get the nomination, oh my God. But anyway, look, what's the matter with you? You coming on or what, man?
Real quick,
Yeah.
that Brandon Joe Williams. What was I going to say about him? I had something that I was going to bring up when you were talking. What would you were just talking about? Leaving. So when you do get that, there is a method to get your passport that can eliminate it stating you as a U.S. citizen at all. Which I mean, I don't know if it doesn't really matter. It's like to me it's like a slave card, really. I mean, like, it is moot when you say we have the right to be secure in our papers and everything else. Handing over an ID is not exactly upholding your God-given rights.
No,
right
man.
under the Ford.
Right. You never give up your ID, man. Never.
Yeah.
They can only compel you to give ID with a fucking warrant, and that's a fact. They cannot compel you to even talk to them without a warrant.
Which,
and even then, you can still plead the fifth.
I mean, it's like, so I get so freaking paranoid that it's like, so is the whole American state national movement is that all? It's just psyop to get people to just go, oh, okay, I'm American state national, but still get them to think that the card holds the power, Because a lot of people, including like even myself, I'm going through that process to get a card. Like, who am I going to show that to, really? Right? Who has the right to demand that?
Right? Who's going to care? Who's going to care?
Yeah.
And I felt the same way about concealed carry permits. So I never got one. Whenever I decide I need to carry, I carry openly on a holster. And if cops want to shoot me, then they're going to shoot me. But nobody else is going to shoot me or even pull a gun on me because I'll kill them first. Yeah. And they know it by looking at that 1911 that's in that holster right there.
Yeah.
They know that. And I'm not out trying to threaten anybody. I'm not wearing it to threaten anyone. I'm wearing it because I can and because I may get a chance to save some lives. Because we know that the police ain't going to do it. But, I don't do it anymore. Because it's, the cops are just way too scared all the time. And,
what's crazy? I'm sorry, it's off topic, but like just by the fact that courts don't want what goes on in a court recorded by the public, if that doesn't wake up the entire United States, man, that fact alone should have everybody rebelling and not a peep.
Right,
bro.
Nothing from anybody.
Bro, I mean, that is the most creepiest thing I've ever heard. Like, and I guess until, like, a lot of people, man, you don't get a lot of experience in courts, right? So it is a little jarring when you go in and they're not even thinking, they're not even thinking that there's a necessity, right? Because they believe until you get caught up in their system, you kind of have a belief that there's justice in there.
Right, but there isn't.
There isn't. There's nobody. None. Yeah.
Hey, listen, I'm gonna add what's the matter with you, man. I've been wanting to talk to this dude for a while. Yeah. But this, the American people have this idea that the courtroom is like Hill Street Blues, like where you're actually going to get some fairness, right? Like that show, that was a great TV show, and if we have to have cops. Those cops
on for a second. Oh, okay, I'm on.
Yeah, there you go.
Sorry.
What's up, man?
Nothing. I'm rushing around trying to get all set up.
Yeah, it's all good, man. It's all good. You said you're in Oregon. Well, guess what? Kennedy's in Oregon too.
Yep. He's down by Corvallis or Eugene or something.
He's in Olympia.
Oh, Olympia. Okay,
Yeah.
I don't know where Olympia, Oregon is. I know where Olympia, Washington is.
Well,
I'm sure there is an Olympia, Oregon, though.
yeah, because he lives there.
I'm gonna look that up and see how far that is. I'm in Portland.
Yeah, it's probably far away. I don't have any idea, dude, because he tells me that it's a desert, so it's got to be inland and south.
Right, it's
Right.
got to be east and south.
Yeah, right, exactly. East, inland, and south for it to be desert. But it's high desert, right? It's not like Phoenix or New Mexico. It's high desert, right?
Has he named the county before? Obviously, I'm sure he has.
No, I don't know that, to be honest.
We've got some notorious and tyrannical ones here.
Oh yeah, well they're everywhere, dude. You know, everybody
Everywhere,
says,
everywhere.
yeah,
You're right.
yeah, everybody says, "Oh man, the cops here are the worst." But I'm here to tell you that it's not a Seattle problem. It's not a Boston, Massachusetts problem. It's not a Houston problem.
Not
it's
even
a
an
Miami
Atlanta,
problem.
Georgia problem.
Right? Yeah, it's not an Atlanta, Georgia problem. It's not an LA problem. It's not a Minneapolis problem. It's a United States of America problem.
Well,
It's
whenever you have an organized criminal organization, so now for all these decades, they've basically only been promoted. Only the worst turds float to the top because those are the only people that everybody can afford to risk having above them with power over them, and give them credibility. If somebody with a conscience ends up there, they
Yeah, then
can't
it's
risk
over.
that.
Yeah, it's over for them if a real, actual, honorable, moral person who believes in America the way it should be, the constitutional republic, then
Exactly.
they're a threat to the United Socialist States of America, which is what these people want, man. It's let's take a look at the FOP just for a second. The FOP is absolutely a national criminal cartel. There's no denying that. There's no arguing that because they represent these criminal cops and they promote criminal cops to become mayors and judges and governors and
They're
senators.
so crazy overpowered for unions like that too. I mean, they're just unbelievably powerful.
Oh yeah, everybody's against a union unless it's the FOP.
Uh-huh.
They don't have anything bad to say to the FOP. I had a dude call me about 6 months ago wanting me to contribute to the FOP, and let me tell you, man, he did not feel good after I got done yelling his fucking ear off. I said, and probably going to go without saying that you motherfuckers take my number off your list forever because I will never give a fucking dime to that criminal cartel. And I hung up on him. I ranked his ass out. He's just a salesman. He's just a salesman trying to make a buck, or he's a state trooper or somebody that volunteered to go do it on his off day or whatever. So maybe he received the message loud and clear. Maybe he was actually a cop himself. But look, as much as I hate these people in charge, I don't necessarily want to hang them all.
Right.
Like I said earlier, the worst human being can still be redeemed somehow. You just have to. We have to figure out where they're going to fit in. And
Well, they've been totally socialized to think that what they're doing is actually the right thing.
Right. Well, they've been lied to, and we have to.
It's like Barry Cooper said, his parents, his community, all the people that he went to high school with that seemed to be like on the right track, all the people from his church, they all had him convinced that Barry Cooper I'm talking about, they all had him convinced that what he was doing was so right and necessary and heroic.
Yeah, who was Barry Cooper?
He's the cop that in the 90s, he was like Texas's #1 drug interdiction cop on the highway.
Oh, he's the one that has the channel now that teaches you how to grow without getting caught.
Never get busted again.
I love that dude, man.
I'm friends with that dude. We haven't hung out in person or anything, but I've known him for a long time. And his stream, it's one of the funnest times I have all week. It's on Tuesday nights.
Yeah, he's something else, man. I like him a lot.
He actually had kind of bad-mouthed Chili quite a bit though when this happened, but he actually was very happy for Chili yesterday, genuinely happy.
Well, look, the dude, we could keep beating on this horse corpse until it's paste. They never proved that he committed a crime. They could never even name a crime and throw it at him that would stick.
Absolutely.
And his lawyer the other day made the appropriate argument to get
Yeah.
him out of it.
Yes, he didn't. He did try to use some case law and whatnot, but I mean, I'm so glad that what it ended up hinging on was the constitutional question. That was so important.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
important.
Absolutely. And it's a good thing that it hinged on that, because now Chile has, dude, if he would just call Kennedy and go through all that, he could probably write 100 different charges and multiple USC 242 cases for Chile to pursue.
Yeah,
Behind all that.
I hope he listens. You know,
Yeah,
he's huge on taking criticism well.
Well,
Sometimes.
look, and this is, a good leader should be able to take criticism, man.
Oh,
You know,
yeah,
like-
and he is a fantastic leader. If he just can fix a couple of these little things, he's got the charisma, the everything.
Yeah, yep. I guess we lost everybody else. We've been on for quite a while, but that's okay. I mean, we can keep going. Dave,
I
thoughts?
scared everyone away.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, I'm just listening right now.
Well, we're basically just shooting the shit.
The Chile thing. Sometimes, like, it just has. I don't know. I don't understand how he can be so not aware of how courts work, or to me, be unaware. Like, would you guys allow yourself to be, quote, represented by an attorney at this stage, or no?
I probably wouldn't.
No,
It would depend on the situation, though.
It would depend on whether I could bring my criminal lawyer out of retirement, because he was all about the Bill of Rights and going after people that.
You're right, Doc. You're right, Doc. If you could find somebody, a lawyer who was in the right kind of ready to use the right framework like that, then yeah, that would change things too.
Right. Yeah, but my lawyer, he made his bones, he made his dough, and he retired. And who the fuck can blame him?
That's what's sad we got going on here too. Because I had a really good one too, but it was just corruption basically. He was like, "Give me 20 grand, I'll get you off." Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
oh man, and
Yeah.
it worked. He went golfing
Well-
with the judge the day before the
Yep.
the day before discovery, all the evidence got thrown out.
Yeah, the one time I ever had to go to court, it was a felonious assault, and so I called my criminal lawyer, and he said, "Get together $3,600." He took a couple days to look at the case, talk to the judge, talk to the prosecutor. He got to see the evidence. He got some more evidence on his own from the place that it happened. Had a security camera that showed that I actually didn't assault this guy at all. I just shoved him away with one hand.
Gotta
Well,
love
okay.
objective records.
All right, okay, that's not entirely true. I just lied. I did knock this dude's lights out, but luckily the security camera didn't show that. It missed that part. It was out of frame. It just showed him.
So he ran into your fist.
Yeah, it showed him flying backwards, but it didn't show me hitting him. So anyway, it was all circumstantial evidence. There were no other witnesses except my wife at the time and this dude. And of course, my wife is going to go along with my story because we were both in trouble.
Mhm.
And basically, I handed Dave, my lawyer, $3,600, and he said, "Okay, here's how this works." And he said, if you say, if anybody ever comes back to me asking about this, I'm going to completely deny it. I need a portion of that money to take the judge golfing. I need another portion of that money to take the prosecuting attorney on a fishing trip up to Lake Erie. He said the rest of it, whatever's left, is going to be mine. So what you're talking about is bribery inside the Just Us system, and they're never going to be in trouble because they're all in the same club, right?
Yep. And they're
they never-
smart enough to just remain silent if ever asked about it.
Yeah. Or that he would flatly deny it. He told me
Yeah.
that. And I just laughed at him, and he was like, it's really not funny, man. Seriously, don't ever tell anybody this. I figure it's safe now because he's retired. And I talked to him a couple.
You're just some guy talking.
Yeah, I talked to him a couple years ago, and he was like, "You're not in trouble, are you?" And I said, "Man, I wouldn't be calling you if I was in trouble. I got a different lawyer now. I got a different lawyer now who is he's definitely Saul Goodman. He is a criminal attorney, but he's really slick, man. He's got a lot of his irons in the fire of oil leases and estates, and then he deals with these criminals, and he is just He is so talented, it's unbelievable, man. He's just like fucking Saul Goodman, man. He could lie his way out of anything at all. Except the difference is the judges all love him. So, but I try to stay out of trouble, man. Look, I don't go looking for trouble. And I don't invite trouble to come to me anymore. I'm almost 60 years old, man. I don't have time for that shit anymore.
Tell me about it.
I just don't. I have time for this because it's important, man. People need to understand that they're free. Whether they believe it or not, that's on them.
Yeah.
But you are as free as you are willing to stand up for that freedom. And if you have to die for it, so be it. I'd rather be dead than a slave, to be honest, man. And and people like Dave, they say, prove it. I said, I don't have to prove it, man. I've already done it. All right,
it's their job to kill you now at this point. If that's what, it's not you to prove it.
Right. Yeah, it's up to them. What are they going to do?
You're proving it by speaking the way, and standing on your rights.
Well, I just,
if it comes up.
if I'm not going to say that what Dave's talking about isn't a way. It is a way, but
right.
It's more complicated.
Complicated.
Really.
Yes.
It is less risky in certain ways.
You think so?
Both ways have.
It seems to me like they say, no, that's for us to use. They just get mad kind of when you bring forward all these case precedents and
right.
talk about this stuff.
Right. They say, well, we're not discussing that today. I mean, they
right.
I've heard them say that.
Oh God, so many times.
But the cops love to fall back on Terry versus Ohio and PA versus Mims. Well, I've never had a cop say that shit to me because I'm already talking about my Fourth Amendment right. Where's your warrant, man? You don't get to see my ID without a warrant. You don't get to look in my car without a warrant. You don't get to arrest me and kidnap me and throw me in a dungeon without a fucking warrant. You just can't do it.
You don't get to patrol around my fucking neighborhood violating people's forays with your license plate reader and your patrols when you don't have a warrant saying, look here for this.
Yeah, hey, thank you for that. Because those things, we need to go after them too.
Absolutely.
Like the traffic cameras. Those traffic cameras are bullshit.
But they do it all.
Well, it's a violation of the Fourth Amendment, it's a violation of the Sixth Amendment, and it's a violation of the 14th Amendment to use cameras or readers.
Big deal.
If at least it is a violation for every time that they identify somebody.
So what? What are you going to do about it? Is my point. You know what I mean?
We had traffic cameras declared unconstitutional because of the 4th, 6th, and 14th Amendment in Ohio. There will never be another traffic camera again in this state.
Really?
Yep.
See, that happened here as well, but it happened like 3 or 4 times. So Portland would buy millions of dollars worth of these traffic camera things to set up around the city. Somebody would get a ticket. The wrong person would get a ticket. They'd fight it all the way to the Oregon Supreme Court. It would be found unconstitutional, and Portland would sell these things off for dirt cheap to surrounding counties. So now all over Oregon, these small counties are just chock full of these damn things. I guess it maybe wasn't the Oregon Supreme Court, or maybe they just don't care. That's what people don't understand, is the courts don't change the laws when they make holdings and rulings. They don't change the laws.
They don't change
the day
shit.
Before,
yeah.
All of this police behavior, brutality, and whatnot, it didn't become a non-criminal the day after Terry versus Ohio holding. No, nothing changed in the law.
I'm gonna hand this over to you guys. You guys talk for a minute. I got to take this call.
Go.
Yeah, so the law doesn't. People, I try to point this out to folks. It's like, hey, if holdings and rulings became law, what kind of a completely unnavigatable shit show would that be? Because there's conflicting case precedents to be found.
Yeah.
On almost any case.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're in it.
We're living it.
Yep.
We're living it right now, man. It's the reason that the courts are conflicted is because they're isolated from one another. And that's good in one respect, and it's bad in another respect. But but that's neither here nor there, because we know that decisions, rulings, and opinions aren't law.
Right.
We know that.
They're only pertinent to that case. Now, other judges can choose later to honor that kind of analysis, but they don't have to. And certainly it doesn't change the law.
No, it never changes the law. That's why I'm so aggravated with people that are like, well, we got to overturn Terry versus Ohio and PA versus Mims. No, we don't, because they're not laws. They don't mean anything. All they do is give these cops a feeling of bravado. That's all
Mhm.
that it does, man. And those cops need to be taught that you don't have any standing there because it's not law. The
Right.
law is the First Amendment, the Fourth Amendment, the Fifth Amendment, the Sixth Amendment, the Eighth Amendment, the 14th Amendment.
Yep.
And all the other amendments that apply.
So Barry and a couple of other people that have kind of almost started to revile me for pushing this stuff, they keep pointing to the 10th Amendment and saying that gives the states the right to make unconstitutional laws.
No, it doesn't. The Supremacy Clause
Exactly.
supersedes that notion.
That seems to be one of the big lies that's going around that keeps people from being able to accept the truth and people thinking that the Constitution is null and void.
Well, and this is where, we have to bring the frauditors. These people are frauditors that are doing that kind of shit, man.
Yeah.
I'm not willing to say that people that talk about tribunals and corporate blah blah contracts, they're not frauditors because they're right, but theirs is not the only way to defeat this beast system. This is a satanic system.
Their way is not consistently successful either.
No, that's if you don't say all the right words and you don't fill out all the right forms, then you're fucked. When it comes to that. Yeah, here we go. Private companies. Yeah, private companies are driving around with readers, and we've all heard that in the last few days. They've been doing that for years.
Oh, for years.
Yeah, FedEx, and you know what? Fuck FedEx, man. I'll never do business with them willingly again. I'll rather go with DHL, and DHL fucking sucks, man. DHL is the worst. I worked for them once, and it literally took me getting loud and obnoxious to get my full paycheck for my last pay. They kept just doling me out. Okay, check this out. My first full week I worked 38 hours. I got paid for 12. The next week they paid me for 24 hours. It was like they were playing this fuck game with me. About getting my full pay. So when they finally paid me at the end, I had like $1,000 check, man, because they were holding on to my fucking money.
Right.
And they were like, "Well, here's your check." I said, "I expect another one next Friday." Fuck you, I quit.
Was this back in the 90s or something?
No, man, this was like 4 years ago. Yeah, man, and I was driving lifts in one of their warehouses. Yeah, I was working in a warehouse, picking orders that were getting shipped. I think we lost him.
Who'd we lose?
We lost what's the matter, you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we lost him. Yeah, Pyramid 7 makes a really good point, man. In private
companies. I'm sorry.
There we go.
Okay.
Yeah, the thing is, Pyramid, that they've been doing this shit for a long time. They're just now admitting it because somebody was getting ready to come out and blab about it. I guarantee you that they were going to keep that a secret, but somebody found out, and Aaron Brockovich found out, and that's what happened. They only admitted it because they got caught. That's how they operate, man.
So is there an echo going for everybody or just me?
I'm not hearing anything.
Yeah, I'm not hearing an echo from
I'm
anybody.
going to have to hang up and come back in then.
All right. We got 4 in. Anybody else that wants to jump in, here's the link. We're just kind of shooting the shit now. Man, Dave, I'm not saying that the working it from the contract side is a bad thing. It's just a little bit more complicated. And it carries risk, just like standing on your rights carries risks.
Yeah.
Because somebody in that process might not be happy that you didn't show up to court. The judge might agree with you, but that pig might not. He might come to your house and try to rough you up or something. You know how they do.
I'm really interested in seeing how this pans out for Kennedy. I really hope it works out well, because if it does, I feel like I have seen people do the "I'm a living man" thing in court, where they're trying to stay out of their jurisdiction, but it ain't easy often.
No. Yeah, it seems to me like that's an uphill battle. Free man on the land, even though that's what we are, according to the Fourth Amendment. The Fourth Amendment establishes us as free human beings. You know that, right? The Fourth Amendment is what gives us all of our freedom.
The definition of a human being is, right?
Enlighten me.
A monster.
Yeah,
A monster.
I said a
Okay.
piece of shit almost at the same time.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know. We're definitely programmed to
You're a
destroy
human.
ourselves.
You're a human. You're a people. You're a man. You're a woman. Or you're a man. You're a human. Or you're I think a United States citizen, lowercase. I forget, but those are the things that you can be in court, but you don't want to be a human being. Human being in court is a lower status. Believe it or not.
Interesting. Although I try not to pollute my mind too much with that stuff.
Say that. Sorry.
I said interesting. Although I try not to kind of confuse my mind too much with a lot of that.
Yeah, and now I'm playing in their fictional world of bullshit. Like I get why you get frustrated. Why? Because they're making these freaking definitions up themselves. So
Yeah,
now I'm
it's-
like playing their world.
Yeah, it's you know, it comes back to, 1984, man.
Yeah.
They start defining
well.
words and making up new words. And, George Carlin talks about this. It used
Oh,
to
yeah.
be shell shock. Now it's post-traumatic stress disorder.
He's
See
way
how
ahead
nice
of
that
his, he was
sounds?
way ahead of his time.
It sounds
yeah.
nice, doesn't it? You
Yeah.
wouldn't mind getting post-traumatic stress disorder, but not shell shock. You
Yeah.
see what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
They
yeah.
make all these nice words for evil shit that nobody wants to experience, just to make it
Mhm.
sound better. I wish that George Carlin was still around.
Oh, he was so
I miss
far ahead
that
of his
dude.
time.
He had a worldview that I could get behind, man. He
Yeah,
knew
he
what
was way
up.
ahead of everybody else.
He knew what was up.
He's one of them,
Yes,
probably.
Okay, so here's what the fuck? Oh, what happened?
Real quick,
Are you
Doc,
still-
have you seen
Are you still
anything
there?
about
I can't hear
still here.
you. I
me?
can't hear you. What's the matter with you? Yeah, I can't hear you.
Oh, I've been talking this whole time. Let me
Yep.
see.
Dave, say something.
You,
Okay,
hello.
I'm
Anybody?
talking.
Holy shit. Why can't I hear you? All right, hold on a second, guys.
Huh?
Okay,
Maybe.
how about
That's
now?
weird.
Can you hear me now?
Huh?
Can you hear
Well,
me now?
I hear you fine, dude. Can you
Wait,
hear
the
me?
browser has blocked your camera and
How about
mic.
now? Let's try it now. God damn it! Remove.
Okay, wait. It's
Okay.
my end. It's my
Dave,
end.
are you still there?
Yeah. You hear me?
Okay, you guys can hear me, but I can't hear you. I don't know why.
It's my end.
My
I got to work
volume's
on.
not turned down. Why don't you both go out and come back in, please?
All right.
How do I exit? Where's my exit? Oh, there it is.
Should be working. Still
No, I
nothing?
still can't hear you, man. I don't know
Okay,
what's
hold
going
on. I got you.
Son of a bitch. Damn it.
Yo, you hear me?
No, I can't hear you, man. Shit.
It's really weird. Hello.
Well, it could be a problem with the stream, man. This thing is not perfect.
No.
I don't know. I guess we'll just wrap it up then, huh?
Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
All right. Sorry, guys. Apparently, we're having technical fucking difficulties that we're not going to be able to work through here. Did you go all the way out and turn off StreamYard and then come back in?
Yeah. I left StreamYard. Yes. Yeah. I did.
Okay, try that. If you haven't yet, go all the way out and come back in. Just copy the link. Anybody else who's in the room want to come back in and talk, feel free. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I don't know what's happening. I'm not able to play a video here with sound. Okay, let's see.
Can't hear me still?
Check.
Hello.
No,
Hello?
all right. I guess I'm going to close this stream, and if you guys want to talk some more, what's the matter with you? You still in the chat? If you guys still
Well-
want to talk some more, we can. But this stream is dead. I don't know what happened. Let me try something. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so
Check the comments. Private chat.
yeah, that sounds good, man.
Hello?
When I hear something
Okay.
from Kennedy, I'll open up a new live stream, you guys. All right, thanks for coming. I love you guys.
All right.
Have a good day. Don't get run over by any fucking road pirates. Later, Gators.